good afternoon or good morning. Just about to join in the Aussie Hump Day Ride barbecue, which is the Sunday evening special. Hey, how's that for timing? 4 minutes, I think it was 3:45. Let's go. Just about to finish this workout. So I've just done 4x5 workout to make this session count because the next ride's quite an easy one. Let's go. End workout. Yes. Hopefully that saves everything. We'll head over to the pens and just go for a cruisy roll down. Hope everybody is well. It's been a while since I've been on a stream. I think it's about 5 or 6 weeks. Quite a bit going on in that time. A few new power meters. And lots of interesting things. Come on, Zwift, don't fail me now. Here we go. Steering disabled. Oh, okay, so I have the Commander on. That was really loud. I have the Commander steering from Keith Wakeham on the stages, SB20 tonight. So it's button press steering. It works really, really well. I might do a video on it. But it is a little awkward being right in the center of the steering. So if I'm out on the hoods riding along, there is provision for external buttons though. Don't worry, Keith thought of everything, so that should be coming soon too. Anyway, it's a bit of fun. Steering on things that are unsteerable. Let's crank that audio down a little bit. I think we've got 153 in the pens already. Wow, not bad at all. There we go, 2 watts a kilo for an hour. That's exactly what I need after my 5x5s that I only did 4 of. Alrighty. Good evening, Alaska. So Stages bike, SB20. I have a certain set of Speedplay pedals on the bike that we haven't seen a lot of yet. What else? That's about it. So just 2 power meters tonight. Well, they're both double-sided, so 4 all up. Recording both. Yeah, well, looking pretty good so far. But it was more the erg stuff that I just grabbed before, the steady state stuff. That's more interesting than 42 watts. Wakeham is a smart dude. Definitely a smart dude. Every time I Google something or search for his website, it pops up with the 4 Eyes innovation. So Keith was the guy behind the original 4 Eyes power meter. Very smart dude. I believe he had a massive involvement in the Campagnolo electronic group set too, when he used to work for Campagnolo. Aha, so you switch over time zones, Klaus. Yeah, we're due, I think, next weekend to switch back to plus 10 GMT. We're still ahead of most of the world except New Zealand and Fiji and Tonga. So we'll always be a day ahead, mostly. But we switch back an hour. Days are definitely getting shorter and colder here, which is a bit unfortunate. We had no days over 40, which is surprising. Usually we have a few of those. I love the heat. Give me the heat any day. The cold, not so much. Oh, Maxie's having a bit of a whinge. Keith's... I have the fan, the Maelstrom controller. I have one of those, yes. Okay, so new rollout. This is with the new group dynamics, pack dynamics. Does it feel better? Does it look better? Looks like a normal rollout to me. There's always going to be side-to-side stuff happening. It's a computer game. That looked pretty smooth. $140°C day. Where was that, Mildura or Swan Hill? Definitely wasn't in the lower parts. Oh, this is good. Sorry, I just got through those 5x5s. They're only at 250 watts, but it's been a long time since I've done specific intervals just for the sake of doing intervals, and that was after a few sprints. Way too many sprints on the Vector 4s, known as the Rally power meter, the other week. So back into some steady state stuff. But they're good. I just need to get on the bike and do 5x5s. If I can do that every single day, I don't have any plans for training, or I have no care at all to raise my FTP, which is an obsession of every single workout or group or anything like that. I don't care what my FTP is. I just want to feel good on a bike. 5x5s do that. Oh, and I need to be able to keep up with group rides like this too. Near a Chuka, okay. Dude on a mountain bike, RIP dude. I happened to join the Cadence bunch the other day on a mountain bike, and because you can't change bikes before you swap into the game, I stuck with it. And for me, hanging with Cadence on the flats at about 100 and I think it's 190, or was it 187? I think I did in the tests. 180, so let's call it 190 watts. On the mountain bike was around 250, 260. It makes a difference. Companion app losing connection. Just make sure your Wi-Fi is solid and your phone's not a potato. I have an iPhone 6. My Wi-Fi connection is about 2 meters that way. I have had absolutely zero problems with the companion app dropping out. It is rock solid. A lot of the time, problems with Zwift and, well, anything online, including power meters, smart trainers, etc. It's external. Trying to find those issues. Could be your neighbor, could be your microwave oven, could be your home Wi-Fi. There are so many things. Usually people just throw a few eggs at the wall and one of them won't crack. Be that a Wi-Fi extender or changing your access point at home. A simple hack, but it bleeds into the more nerdy stuff, is even the aerials on your home AP. If you've got little aerials that flip up, just put them on a different angle. Or buy a little better aerial for your home access point. Sunday's good, thank you for asking. We're out at the bike races this morning. Return to group, I'm not even past the fence. Coming up next week on today's Zwift tips, a bug where they fix another bug where I'm not in front of the effing fence. What's this? Yeah, so Sunday's good. Obviously the fence here on Zwift is not. They had a come race with us Women's Day for the local cycling club, so Von went out there. Damn it, where's Salmon? So Von went out and raced with the ladies and I guess mentored a few of them who were first time racers, which was pretty cool. Just a group ride roll. I mean, a race is just simply a bunch ride anyway. So just introducing people to the whole process. Now I think the bugs for Zwift have crashed into the Suez Canal and they're like stuck halfway. So as soon as the Suez Canal opens, I think we'll get some updates for Zwift. Little Maxie was running around out at the bike races. He loved it. It was great. Had him on his little four-wheeler. Or three-wheeler, sorry, not four. Whoa. I tend not to go into the technical troubleshooting videos. I've done most of them, and they're still all applicable. A lot of the times I'll just solve a problem and I'm done with it. I do not want to go back over it. So for my home Wi-Fi setup, I did a video on that, which was with just using the Google Mesh. I've put that in and I've had next to zero issues with anything since then. That's been, what, 2 years? Same with the PC and Bluetooth. Just went and bought a PC, put it on the floor and it just works. There's external problems, yes, but I've switched microwave ovens, which didn't help. Yeah, things like VPN advice, it just won't work at all. If your VPN's enabled, it just won't work at all. But intermittent issues, they're the hard ones to diagnose. Return to group, come on. Carbon bike smashing on kickers racing due to Zwift and training, no. Due to salt build-up. With the frame has... everything breaks. It's just... it depends how long you wait. Riding a carbon bike on an indoor trainer is never a problem. Never has been a problem. Ever. If your bike's going to break on an indoor trainer, it'll break outdoors. And best have it break indoors than next to a car going 100 kilometers an hour past you. Never been an issue. Never been a meme at all. You want to see a meme? Jump over to Thanks Shimano on Instagram and have a look at the crank failures. That's a problem. Carbon bikes breaking on indoor trainers, not happening. Due to salt build-up though, you're going to have to be one salty dog to put your slop all over your bike and not clean that off. Just maintain your equipment. Possibly if you sweat on your, say, your head stem, on your bars and everything like that, sure, it's going to be a problem. It's just general maintenance. Not a problem with the material though, or anything. Geelong, yeah, clean your bike, yeah. I don't know what's up with this fence. Now, Geelong Try, I haven't kept up with any results. I did see it was on though, which was good. Some events still running. And swimming. And riding. What are we at? 145 watts. Here we go. Tour of, is it Tour of Watopia? Coming or Tour of Zwift? I think it's Tour of Watopia. Double XP. Not double drops though. I think XP and drops, having both of them is too confusing. So for XP is where you level up through the game and you can unlock things to buy with your drops. But you get both drops and XP for riding. For us, if you've been on Zwift for a long time, sure, we can understand it because we've been trickle-fed these updates and what they mean. Coming in new to Zwift, it's too hard. It's too hard. I should go to the map. Can we drop? Oh, we can't drop. No. How many watts is Zwift lower reading due to real ride? About 20 watts higher or lower? I don't understand. The 2 power meters I have on at the moment are pretty much bang on. My steering has been disabled though, damn it. I could be cutting some inside lines. Just him with a bronze statue in the game. He should. Oh, look, Jason, the Zwift login process, for sure. I have a list of 100 things Zwift need to fix. But gets a bit tiring, bitching and moaning every now and then. But for the garage, the idea there, the drop shop, you should be able to jump into effectively jump into a virtual training room. Here's just an idea while we chat and clock up the Ks. just like any car racing game, you don't start a race in a car racing game without first selecting your car. So why in Zwift do you have to drop into the game to then swap your bike? Too hard. I know there's a pen to do that, but if you want to join one of the pace partners or late join or something, you're in a bit of a pickle. So with Zwift you should be able to log in and you end up in a virtual training room or something where the bike is sitting there on a trainer. You can select where you want to ride, all the menus that we have for the moment. But there's also the drop shop, there's also the equipment. You equip it all up, and as you click on things, bang, 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 the bike on the virtual trainer there will be all equipped. And then you just hit go. Let's just say you want to warm up before you join Anchor Till. Maybe you could sit there in your virtual little garage or little virtual pain cave in the main menu and just sit there and spin for 5 minutes and then join, rather than have to join another course and join back and then exit and then... Look, these aren't unique ideas. Smart Desk is going well. It's in use every day. I just haven't covered it yet. I've got my phone charger just next to it, my Apple TV holder. I could tell you all about it. I should just do a video on it, shouldn't I? No, it's going well. It's something that I use every day. Support for a taxatory trainer, no idea. Zwift have been screwing with some power curves for that. Just make sure your Zwift is updated. Any advice for not getting injured? Stay on the couch. Everything else is a compromise. Hip flexors, no idea. I've been lucky on the bike over 20 plus years, I say, or so. 4 collarbones, broken hip, quite a few broken bikes and crashes and things. Nothing's ever really kept me off the bike for too long. I'm definitely no professional. I'm a consumer when it comes to medical advice. Belgium, welcome along. Jesper, how you doing? Easter's next weekend. It's come around fast. Way too fast. The room temp reader. Just on, if you go to Amazon, there's a 4-pack. 57%, 23.5 here at the moment. No, I'm a professional person who talks about cycling things. I think, anyway. Not sure. Scott, it's been hot cross bun time since after Christmas. Chocolate hot cross buns, 20 seconds in a microwave. Obviously when you're not using Ant Plus or Bluetooth. Currently on the SB20. The Stage's Smart Bike preferred trainer, Lama Revolution. Preferred smart trainer, Kicker, Neo 2T if I'm testing, Devedo XR also if I'm testing. Kicker Core does all right. There's no straight answer for which is the best trainer. That's why there's so many fights over it online. Flux S, no. That's one I can tell you that I'm not the biggest fan of. Not starting fasted, no. I've got too many hot cross buns in the house. No, I just done a 5x5 or a 4x5 workout prior to jumping on for this one. This goes for another 43 minutes at a pretty easy pace. And it's these easy pace rides I usually get hungry on. So just a Cliff Bar, chew away on. No, Jack, sorry. That's a good question. I don't mean to be rude, but I rarely answer personal emails to my own account about a consumer issue. If you've got a question about power meters, throw it up on my in the YouTube comments. I'm good with that. Or somewhere like the Trainer Road forums, where we can get a lot more people involved in the answers, ideas. Direct emails to me, not a good way of getting to me. And we can do some really good stuff in email. And I used to do that in the past all the time, spend a few hours replying to a ton of emails. And that information just disappears. Whereas if it's on a forum, even over on Reddit Zwift or Reddit Cycling, feel free to tag me if you've got an issue that you want to post up there for people to contribute with. It's much easier for me to contribute back in public. And from a business point of view, it's less risky for me to reply in public than in person. I've had a few instances recently where people were talking to me directly and they've used that text and cut and pasted elsewhere in a way that it wasn't meant to be intended. It wasn't anything bad that I'd said. You just can't do that. So, for anything that's Gplama related, up in a forum. Yeah, and you'll get better answers than I am. I'm not the go-to be-all and end-all. I can guarantee you there's someone over on Reddit. He'll stick his nose into some of the most of the posts, and by that I mean that in a good way, who is one of the leading authority, I'd have to say, on aerodynamic testing and power meters and things like that. So whilst you do have to wade through some of the crap and some of the shit posts you do get, but not by that person, by generally posting it public. Exactly what I said, you've got to wait. You've got to get through the noise. For sure. It was a tough one last week with the Vector. I keep calling them Vectors, you know what I'm talking about, the rally. We knew they were coming, of course we did. Well, not of course, it was nice that we had that access early on. Okay, well, I'll talk from me rather than we. So I had them for a few weeks. And I mean, my business relies on, being able to release information when the embargoes lift. And when I was out there eating shit in the rain, testing this meter, I was having a few issues with it. So I'm out there testing, and rained on. And I come home and it's blasted all over the internet. And so the views on that went down. I mean, everyone knew about the news, so it wasn't news. But people pick it, people know. Token. That's pretty good. And you're not wrong. We're probably... they have the same FCC ID, don't they? I think they're very similar. Hey, Barney. What news? Not much, mate. Not much. Just back on a stream. First time in many, many weeks. The streams don't do that great for me, view-wise or anything like that. So most of the time I'm putting... the one the other day where I just did the update on the Zwift updates that have been updated. I think that's at 20,000 views now. That's crazy. That's putting more time into those than these ones. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on Twitch. But news from today, though. Let's see if I can... where are we? Here we go. Just loading up some photos. Gravel bike is good. Gravel bike is very good. Here's this morning out at the local bike races. Where here's Yvonne getting ready for her ride to help the women through their first couple of rides. Little Maxie. He's the team mechanic now, little Max. There's still checking the bike. Still at it, still checking the pedals now. Good job, little Maxie. Making sure Mum's bike is all good to go. The dude has lots and lots and lots of hair. Not from me. Winter coming, yes, it is here. The long rides of route badges, sure. That's the plan. I have 4 or 5 to get. And they're the brutal ones. Now there is a hack / bug to get any route badge very easily without doing the route. Now I want to test this bug, but I want to maintain integrity. So what I'm going to have to do is test this bug to see if I can trigger this route badge award without doing it, without doing the full route. And if it does give me the badge, then I commit to doing that route. And if people want to go and use that hack to go off and do whatever they like, they can. I'm handing people the box of matches, not telling them to light the fire. So I've been thinking about doing that, but the shortest route is, what is it, 89 Ks? I'll have a look on Zwift Hub here. Zwifthub.com. That's where I track the badges I need to do. Kicker core for newer version? I don't think so. The only thing we'll see with the kicker core, I don't think they'll squeeze the accuracy down any closer. It'll then start tapping up against the kicker 5 or kicker 2020. Possibly the direct connect port, but what the hell is going on with the direct connect port in Zwift? Zwift still don't support it. I've asked and asked, I get no reply. So something's up there. It's either politics or it's business or it's something. Technology-wise, so the kicker core could have that, but it's unsupported by Zwift. It's probably not a big issue there. Not sure what else they could do with the kicker core. That's why it sells so good. What, 2017, 2018 that unit was out? And still does very, very, very well. Until there's a phase shift or a game changer come along for trainer technology, there's not much more we can do. Look, for the last 4 or 5 years, we've just been polishing what we already have. So, lower price, not going to happen. Never going to happen. Not after Corona. Not after shortages and not after demand's gone through the roof. People want cheap prices. Take up running or golf, mate. No, not golf. Walking. Cycling ain't going to get any cheaper. Although the SRAM GX Eagle Access stuff wasn't too bad priced when it came out. So the shortest route, I have a very short one to do. 4 horsemen. 89.8. And I've got the Mega Pretzel, the PRL4 and the Uber Pretzel. So I think if I do the bug / hack test on the 4 horsemen, someone's at the front door. I can then go knock out the 4 horsemen. That's what, 3 hours, 4 hours. Beep. No, leave that open, please. Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. It's getting warm in here. I do the hack bug on GP Sheepy. Yeah, any news on the Gplama club? See, ideally what I'd love is the Gplama club in-game, where people can join, and if I spin up an event to do one of those longer routes, people can then join it as an event. No word on clubs. Which is surprising, it's been a long time. Wireless speedometers? Oh, look. Wireless speed sensors have been a solved problem for a long time. Some of the new Garmin ones are pretty cool. Garmin or Wahoo, both dual protocol, plus and Bluetooth. Then some of the newer Garmin ones have some memory on them. Four Horsemen from Metallica. Oh, if only I could stream decent music. No hacks, no Jason, I'll do the hack and then I'll go and ride the course. That's the part where I show what can be done and then go and get it done. Whoa. A little bit of power testing with the Kicker 5 this week. Yeah, that thing is rock solid. It's really good. For the Lama lab test, steady state 200, 250s, overs and unders. It does very, very well. Oh, Mike, the PRL full yesterday. Good job. I had a few to tick off before summer even starts. It's been months since I've done a badge hunt. But then the days got nice here, so I've been running outdoors. It'll be a full work day for me getting one of those badges done. Which is the middle of the night everywhere else. Aha, Scott, you found it. That's it. What was your pre-ride though, Scott? As you said, late joining an event. Did you do any pre-ride? Or was that just loading Zwift, late joining and hitting and just getting the badge randomly? If that's what's happened, it's a different bug. The Four Horsemen's a piece of cake after PRL full. I need to break up PRL full somehow. I need to theme it. If I can stream it, that makes it at least 20% easier. For me staring at the screen, even with a bunch here by myself in this room. I think it's, yeah, you've got to concentrate, whereas when you stream things, much better. Okay. Number 75 on my list of things to fix on Zwift. That should be not as loud going past that. Number 77. The cobbles shouldn't be this loud. How do I compare or feel when I train long indoors and then ride outside? Depends on the ride, depends on the type of riding indoors. If I've been doing structured training indoors, I feel awesome outdoors. It's more about the length of the rides. If you're only doing 45-minute rides indoors with not a lot of intensity, then you try and go for a 3-hour ride outdoors, you're going to feel like junk. Updating the Sturzo. If there's a new firmware for it, yes I would. You get less bugs, less dropouts potentially, probably lower latency, more reliability out of the things. All the things bug fixes usually fix. So if there is a firmware update for the Sturzo, get that done. I'm using the Commander today, but there's no steering in this event. The Commander's the little, actually it's over on my Instagram, I'll show you guys that. Three Sisters, okay, that's not bad. What's that? That's for 40Ks? 60Ks? Probably doesn't show up too well there. That little tiny thing you're seeing there. Here's the commander from Keith Wakeham. There's a firmware update this week that allows it to steer. Just press button, steer. It works really well. Bicycles in the future, for example, 10 or 20 years. That all comes down to the UCI and the regulations allowed. You can see there's futuristic bicycle designs from 10, 20 years ago that just cannot be put into production for racing or riding because they don't adhere to the UCI standards. So it depends on the governing body. It's good that tyres and wheels are progressing rather than everyone running 23 mil at 120 psi. There's more understanding about what's fast, which makes for a better time on the bike. Bike frames, look, a lot of my testing and riding is done on a 2013 frame, so frame doesn't really matter. Grip sets is another thing. Grip sets are your touch points. Di2, like nice and snappy. Changes gears on the gravel bike, running Axis, Eagle, and that's up and down. That's it on the levers. No, haven't raced Three Peaks. PPD test on Zwift. I'm not sure what you mean, sorry. Testing protocol for my metabolic chart according to Insight. I haven't done an FTP test for years. I'll start there and then we'll go back. I'm not tracking my fitness. Only the amount of Ks and hours that I'm doing. It's too much. It's too much. I raced for years and years tracking TSS, CTL, TSB, FTP, 5/10s, 20-minute powers, all for the goal of racing. It's too much. It's too much. Well, the quickest way to strip the enjoyment of riding a bike, you take all those things and obsess over them. So there's a lot of good tools out there, don't get me wrong. They'll allow you to train optimally, and they're still pretty cool. But sometimes, getting on a bike and riding, that's all that matters. Lockdown over here, we have just unleashed the requirement to wear masks indoors. So we're pretty good. I'm not sure there's any cases in Victoria. Definitely no new cases for weeks and weeks in Victoria. Brisbane's another problem. But Australia's in a really interesting position. We're an island with a relatively low population. So yeah, they shut the borders pretty quick and could contain things. So New Zealand's the same. So we're lucky. Europe, UK, definitely the US, definitely in a very different position than we are. Zero active cases in Vic. Wow. Yeah, it was nice today to go to a bike race and have a chat to a few of the old boys out there, and you can stand next to somebody and talk. Of course, I mean, anyone could have it at any time, anywhere, I know, but there's a bit of normality after, what, 13, 14 months of what we've been going through. Mavic can bring out things to the market and not get longer than Mavic. Yeah, it's a combination. Companies can make really great products, but sometimes it's more than the products. The SB20 with the lag, not since a few firmware updates. Now I have on the screen there, that's 3-second smoothing. You turn off 3-second smoothing, you do a jump sprint, it's pretty close, a lot better than what it was on release. Okay, thunderstorm, I've got to get involved here. So because there's no automatic ride on circle with this event, we've got to... Now you can't see thumbs on my screen because I've gone and killed the graphic. I had them streaming down on me all the time, so I killed the graphic, but in doing that it kills the graphic for the thumb streaming down on everyone else. No, I don't know the guy from the porn site, sorry. Dudes in porn, not really my forte. Now if he ran, like, say, power to max, or if he was a fan of the Quark power meter and uploaded some videos of him hanging weights off that rather than himself, maybe I'll be into it. As for over in Brazil, no. Sorry, dude. Back to me, am I be on the fence? No. Oh, yes, I am. Whew. Split pay power pedals, Jason, when the embargo lifts, yeah, when we can talk about them, for sure. They're on my feet right now, in fact. But they're pre-release, so they could change in specs and in accuracy and anything. So, yep, you'll hear about it as soon as that date and time lifts. You'll hear about it, not before, definitely not before. And we'll see how they go. Release-wise for those companies is usually around, if you're looking at time of day, morning time New York is the times. Dates could be anything, but time-wise, and I know that very well because it's in the middle of the night here. You get cold when you do an interval on your kicker. That's a good thing. Maybe put the kicker headwind on your legs and torso and a smaller fan on your head. Cura Styles, to get rid of the thumb? No, it's actually not too bad. You can just find the thumb file. It's a Windows hack. I guess the same will work on a Mac. Hang on. I thought I had a little visitor. You just 0-byte the file. So on a Windows machine, you can just right-click, copy the file, paste, it'll create a copy of the file, delete the existing file, and then create a new text document. And just rename the .txt extension and the name to the same as what the resource was. It just needs a 0-byte file sitting there. I could probably write a PowerShell script to do it, but it could cause problems with Zwift. It hasn't on mine yet. Hey Germany, love your power meters. I got an email from Power to Max the other day, correcting me on how to zero their meter. I was doing testing with the rallies and I was doing back pedals, but on the Power to Max you just need to coast for 2 seconds and it will zero, if it's stable enough. It didn't really matter, I stopped anyway and did the proper zero on the Power to Max. That thing's proven itself so many times. It's great. If it trips up, I'll set fire to it, but it's doing really well. Bicycle is never stolen, never let it out of your sight. As soon as your bike is out of your sight, it can be stolen. Cafes and things like that. I see people park their bikes out front of cafes and go in, have a coffee and order. As soon as you turn your head away from your bike, it's no longer your bike. It just happens to be your bike if it's still there. Just common sense stuff. My bike is never out of my sight. Yeah, good question about power pedals on an eMTB or any e-bike. Your pedals will work fine, and they'll measure correctly, and they measure in the correct spot to measure your effort. So your bike on your eMTB will be past the cranks. So what that's going to measure is the power that you're putting into the pedals, the power that you're generating. Nothing to do with the power from the engine. If it was a hub-based power meter, and you had the power in the gearbox or the cranks, bottom bracket area, that'd be a problem. But yeah, that'll work. Von has the specialized e-bike still. Has a Q factor of 180. So it's like riding a horse already. So it's going to be funny putting some power meter pedals on that. You're in Germany and you've got a Stages power meter? Don't say that too loud. The police will come around. If you're in Germany, you have to have an SRM, if you can afford it, or a Power to Max. Why is it saying return to group? I don't know. It gives me some content to report on when Zwift fix this bug. It's broken. The fence is broken. Carbon bikes. They could cost anything. Depends what the guy wants who stole it from the cafe. Yeah, fans on. Yes, I have a kicker headwind in front of me and I have a little Vornado next to me. I have the RTX voice filtering on there, so it's pretty quiet. Oh. Definitely the ride I needed after those intervals today. Question is, did that upload to Strava as a separate ride? It's going to, isn't it? And what did it call it? It did. Ha ha ha. Gplama 255 a workout. Ambient temperature 24 degrees Celsius exactly. What did we do? 4x5s. Time. So I had some power discrepancies. And I was stopping and I zeroed. I did 2x5s and then I stopped and zeroed one of the meters and I did 2x5 again. And my heart rate went up on the next 2x5s. Funny that. There was about an 8 watts difference. Next to nothing. These are the little differences I'm looking at the moment though. It's an 8 watt difference. My heart rate went up. Interesting. Heart rate's not really a good way of testing it. Power meters, but that is high. Yeah, we don't have an air conditioned in this room direct. It's central heating. I don't want to turn it to something super cold and inconvenience the rest of the family. Ray, I've got no idea what my FTP is, mate. I have no idea. Best moment of my life as a cyclist. Cycling award that you remember most fondly. A couple of the national TT titles early on. I think I got about 5 or 6 of those in a row after a few years focusing a lot on the age group TT stuff. First win at Tour of Bright was good. And TT win in that too. A couple of surprise wins are the most memorable ones, because the ones that you train for, the ones that you absolutely... Then race day just becomes business. So when you win that, it's great to win. It's more of a relief than a celebration that all the work that you put into something pays off. The National Criterium title for Masters 1 was a special one. No, Masters 2 it was. So I'd won the TT the day before. They have the Masters Championships here in Australia, and they did the TT, the Criterium and the road race all in the same location over a couple of days. I targeted the time trial, so the other 2 races were just a bonus. And they shortened the Criterium down to from 40 minutes to 35 or something. So I'm like, oh, 35, that's a TT. Jump on and rode very, very hard. Got in a breakaway with a mate, had someone bridge across, and I managed to get the win there in a Criterium after training a lot for a time trial. Usually 2 very different disciplines, but if we could turn the Criterium into a time trial, that suited me. So that was a surprise win. I think that's the best finish line photo I have. 2 hands in the air, my mouth wide open with, what the... Opinions on price. Look, to be honest, I don't focus a lot on price. Sure, price is a factor, but for me, I want to know, is a product what they sell? Simple as that. They could charge anything for it. Is it what they sell? And most of the time these days, no, that's not the case for a lot of things, especially how deep we're diving into the details of things. That's why when I did the pricing of the rallies, I'm like, there's the pricing. Everyone has their own opinion on the pricing. Yeah, they're expensive. They're bloody expensive, but if you want cheaper, you then start looking at compromise. You have a problem with your Vectors or your rallies or any Garmin product here in Australia, you get a phone call from Sydney pretty damn quick, and you get a turnaround on a product very, very quickly. That's part of the price. A lot of people value things based on what's in their hand, not what's gone behind it, and we'll continue to be supported by it. So the Vector 3s, you'd be sent out battery caps for those for years until they got them right. That was pretty cool. Flip side, IQ squared. People put their money down and they're losing their effing minds because they don't have their power meter. So you can chase the cheap and have heaps of stress, or pay the dollars and just go ride your bike. Having said that, they're overpriced. But that's the market. What climate? I like the heat. I like riding in hot weather. And price and value, people are like, oh, what's the best value? That depends. People watch from everywhere around the world. And given Corona season, some businesses did really, really well. Some businesses did really, really poor. Some people lost their jobs. Therefore, the value of a smart trainer for someone without a job, it's going to be very different to someone who works in, say, manufacturing face masks or hand sanitizer or sells smart trainers themselves. And that's the question that needs to be answered first. Does the product do what it says? Is what is written on the side of the box correct? Then we can talk about price. And don't forget with Garmin stuff, you get access to Garmin Connect, which rivals Strava if you want to track your fitness. It rivals Strava Premium. So when you buy a head unit from Garmin, yes, they're a little bit more expensive. Auto uploads to Garmin Connect. You've got routing, mapping, training, all that stuff built in. Not something they sell as part of the offering, they're just like, oh yeah, you get Garmin Connect. There's quite a bit behind that. Vivero lowered their prices early on, Tobin, I think, but I'm pretty sure they bounced back up, didn't they? David, I'm not suffering. I was before the stream. A few intervals. No, just cruising today. It's good. Good to jump on here and have a chat to everyone. The Asioma is a good competitor to the Rally, and there's no question about the Asioma, and it's amazing to see how much love the Asioma's got. And there's no question, the last 3 years, the content that I've done on the Asioma, it's been great. They're a great set of pedals. But when a small company does very, very, very well, you can guarantee you the larger companies are looking and going, you know what, we want some of that. The only thing the Rally has going against them, or one of the things, is the history of the Vector. What mobile applications do I recommend downloading for cycling? Obviously Strava. Strava's a good one to check out. Obviously your ride stats after your ride. If you're a Strava Premium, you've got the maps, segments and things like that. My stream pin is sharp on Twitch. Can you give me some more details on that? My stream pin. Other mobile apps for cycling. Instagram? Just see where everyone else is riding. Tin Man, you did a 10k. Yes. Epic, epic. There's no attacks in this race. This is just a cruisy ride. I will drop a feather though. There we go. New dirt kit too. With the candy skull style with bike parts. Very cool. In regard to the Asioma Shimano hack that everyone has pointed out that leaked, or apparently leaked, over on Cycling Tips, just grab yourself a ruler and measure the Asioma pod, and then measure a Shimano pedal, and then forget about that idea for now. Your pedal's going to be like 5 feet wide. I'm hoping Asioma or Vivero have worked on a smaller pod, like what appears on the what we've seen so far of the Speedplay power pedal. Hang on, I can confirm it's a smaller pod. $37Ks. This is a nice way to end the week or weekend. No, I can hear someone knocking at the door. Little Maxie wants to come in and spin the cranks. have bike pass raised prices in Australia? Let me think. I'll have to check the Aussie dollar against the euro. Against the US, it's gone up. Why is the channel called Shane Miller Gplama? Because Shane Miller is my name, and Gplama is the handle that I use, which used to be all my personal accounts. Now it's effectively my business account. It's just my online name. So rather than just be Shane Miller, which is a pretty common name, or Gplama, which is a little impersonal, I put both. Because it's all me. Except when I crack the shits and blow up. Then Vaughn steps in. There was a strong element of truth behind the video the other day where I actually blew myself up and disappeared. Because I sit down and do a lot of pre-planning for the videos and go through the change logs and get ready for it and pre-produce things, and just so it looks normal and natural and flows, and you guys get quality info. And then they drop a new update or change something without notifying us. The Dirt group, jump over on the Dirt group on their Facebook group, show all the details over there. Look at the breakaway group. Must be those speedy trons. Whew. With a private Strava account, can you get updated PR info when using Strava segments on a Garmin Hinge? I've got absolutely no idea. One for Strava support, or maybe the Strava group over on Reddit. Most of my rides are pushed as public on Strava. So no hands-on with locking that down. Thanks for dropping in. Enjoy your outside ride, mate. What's on tonight, Pro Tour wise? We've got a few things on to watch. Where's my GCN app? What have we got? I've been following Loretta Hanson from Trek Segafredo women's team. She used to be on our very small club team. Now she's over there in Europe in a Pro Peloton, which is pretty cool. No, I don't sell anything. Sorry. No, I don't sell any products or do any personal consulting. That's what I was saying before about emailing me direct. You best post to a forum and tag me than emailing direct. Gent Wavelgem, there we go. Brilliant. Starts tonight at 10:10 p.m. Sweet. Will Zwift launch some new routes soon? God knows. Who knows? My updates on what's coming on Zwift is usually my little script telling me, there we go. We've done a little script telling me there's been a Zwift update, and I jump online and have a look at the release notes. So as for knowing about new routes coming soon, stay here now. I'm just going to pop over the top of this hill and then get the extra kilometre down. My steering is off. Can we put the steering back on? There we go, steering's on. Cool, so this is with the Commander. The button press now, you can't see it. I haven't set this stream up to show the Commander. But it's the buttons side to side, which is working pretty well. Oh, we're back to, we can give some thumbs up. There we go, cool. So now we're broken out of the event mode. The thumbs ups now work. Oh, Trek pulled out for a positive COVID test. Sorry, I've got to make sure we get that clear for cycling, hey? Thanks, Ian. Now in normal mode, the Commander, the little add-on for the handlebars here, would allow me to select the directions as it replicates a Bluetooth keyboard, but this is just in steering mode, which is the Stereo by Keith Wakeham. It recenters perfectly too, so you push, goes out and then recenters. Push, goes out, recenters, which keeps you in the lane for the lane selection type steering that we have in Zwift. Whew. Yeah, the only reason I didn't cover the commando when it was released, I've got 2 here, plus the extensions and the testing things. It conflicts with my Di2 recording because it acts as the Di2 head unit. Or if I was to use it on the gravel bike, the Axis recording, so I can't use it for any of that without screwing up my data for everything else. Steering as if like riding drunk. No, not really. There's no feel to it, just like going up and down hills, and when you're in a bunch, you don't get the feel of the wind, and there's a disconnection there. It's steering. Dunk. Oh, sorry, dude. It's nice and responsive. It's good going up the inside line, like flying down one of the Epic KOM descents the other day. I took the inside line on someone, and you can gap them by quite an amount. So for racing, it's definitely an advantage to have steering. No question about it. So taking these lines here. Yeah, Sagan getting the win yesterday. That was cool. Good on him. I thought he was cooked. Good one for the sponsors too. Nearest 100 riders, could that be corrected at some point? Absolutely it can. It just depends on what Zwift want to release for different systems. Obviously Zwift is catering for the majority of systems out there which aren't gaming machines. You're either on an iPad or an iPhone or an Android or a business machine of some type. It would be nice to have the option. I mean, I've got a computer here that's just idling along with Zwift. Be nice to push that out, but yep, no option to do that. Investing in a sterzo. I don't know. For me, no. Not for. I don't race. If you're racing, sure. I mean, I use it for the game. I'm steering here because I've got steering. But if I didn't have steering, it doesn't affect my cycling on here at all. I'd still be out riding and getting in the Ks. I don't know where it's going. If they were to then... Here's another thing on my list. Branch out Zwift and make, so gamify... Oh, lots of people there. Gamify steering and have, like, collect the drops, or collect, say, this... There's a drop bonus over here, so grab that. Or if you're in a race that has both steering and not steering, put some bonuses outside the optimal line. So you can go get a bonus, but you're going to be penalised for it. If they introduce that, but what would... I'll stop there. We could talk all day about what there should be. So it really depends. It really depends. I've got to get 40Ks, don't I? This Zwift effect. Liquid amateur cyclists should drink, probably not alcohol. If it's an hour, water's fine. Anything more, maybe a bit of something with some electrolyte. Good one for your coach. Sort out the lag while on Zwift. Which particular lag? There's wattage lag, there's gradient changing lag, there's HDMI input lag. It's actually surprising anything actually works with all the lag involved, to be honest. Rain. Do we need virtual rain? I don't think we need virtual rain. Do we need this crappy music? No, we don't either. But we can't use other music. A bit of rain in the tunnel there, and we're underwater. Woo! This is an hour 50 on the Garmin's. I've done 2 rides here. We've got some good data to have a look at. And we're going through to 40. Come on. Resistance lag while climbing, depending on the trainer. If you're using a trainer over Ant Plus, use Ant Plus FEC, usually a little quicker. If you can use Bluetooth over that. Some trainers are more responsive. If you have... Yeah, it depends. Rick, what brand of trainer are you on? I might just nod with the answer to that one, depending on what you say. Daz, sleep deprivation. Max sleeps a lot, probably 12 hours a night plus 2 or 3 hours during the day. He's in a routine and sleeps really well. So I do too. Heart rate monitoring setup, Kicker, wow, look at the bunch there. Ticker X2 at the moment. Kicker 5 and delay with resistance, that's interesting. Yeah, definitely make sure you're using... Which group ride is that? Bowie. What's Bowie holding? 3.2, that's not a bad group. What project do I have for YouTube? Why don't I have some kind of TV show on YouTube at least once a week? I did do sort of weekly update shows, which caused a bit of problem with Peloton, but let's not talk about that because it is quite funny. News shows like that, they're a lot to put together. They're fun to put together. I do like them, but they last for a few days and they disappear. So investment-wise, they're no good for the resources that I have. It's just me. If you saw us having a bit of a laugh the other day, who writes this script? Yeah, it's me. So putting a news show together, which is cool. Same with the podcast. The podcast is heaps of fun, really cool to do. People loved it. It just didn't make any money at all. So doing 4 or 5 hours of editing, plus the build-up, plus the promotion, plus all that, equals 0. Actually less than 0. So it's the same with the weekly shows. And you'll see that with other channels. They'll do it, they're great. There's a number of other channels out there doing weekly stuff and updates. And they have sort of carved out a little niche in doing that. I gotta pay the bills. 100% trainer difficulty. The only way to fly. Or technically on the SB20 you could do a 200% trainer difficulty. When is the Tour de France on Zwift? It was 6 months ago. Oh, look how dark this is in the tunnel. Look at this. What crappy weather. Lama drives. Same deal with the Lama drives, mate. They're, well, they pretty much stopped when we stopped driving places because of coronavirus. They're fun, but I tell you what, it's fun not having... There's a few of those Lama drives where I told it like it really was on a few topics of esports and e-racing, and God, that got me into so much trouble. I don't do controversy, I don't do clickbait, I don't do crap. That's why covering technology is so much better. It works or it doesn't, most of the time it doesn't. That's all we need to know. I'm not interesting. I've done some interesting things. Those stories have been told. Wheel-on trainers. Yeah, they exist. Wheel-on trainers are good for if you need, I guess, multiple bike compatibility. Different group sets and things. Where's my helmet, mate? You won't see my helmet. That's on my OnlyFans shot. OnlyFans page. Oh, bike helmet. It's indoors. For wheel-on trainers, though, there's really only 2 in the market. Wheel-on smart trainers, that is. That's the Kicker Snap and the Elite 2.0. And they do ruin tyres, yes. If not correctly cleaned. Some can last a while. Fly Rod L, yes, Bluetooth problems. It wasn't picking up this Stages bike as a controllable. The other day, a few reboots still wouldn't pick it up, switched back to Antlos. Gotta provide your OnlyFans link. I don't even have an account. Oh look, I'm not saying my gear reviews aren't interesting. I try and make them interesting. I'm not interesting. So the opinion pieces and the daily news stuff, or any of the stories of vlog stuff, it's not really that. I've done that. 43Ks, let's do it. Oh, we need some more climbs to get out of the saddle. But I just have to wait around for companies to make interesting products. So I'm glad this month there's been a few interesting products. SPDSL power meter pedals, that's a game changer. We'll just see how they go with the firmwares and things. No, I don't know Richie Port. Drops a feather. Alrighty, fans. And OnlyFans users. I haven't even loaded that. Is it an app? What is OnlyFans? Is it a website or an app? I have to look into it. We'll leave it there. I can't finish on 1 hour 13. It's going to be unlucky. Kicker versus Neo, both. Get both. And you can have an internal argument with yourself over which one's the best. You're splitting hairs between the two. But now you've got to ask Kicker 5 or Neo 2T, because both of them have different revisions all the way through and they're very different beasts. But if you're talking about the latest, they're both auto cal. You're never going to top it out in sprints, either of them. Depends if you can tell the difference between that flywheel feel and the virtual flywheel feel, or if it matters. Then you look at things at pricing, what your local bike store sells. Biggest climb, about 1,600 meters I think I've climbed in a day. Mount Hotham. Oh, 600 meters to go. Let's go. 44Ks. See, this is the Zwift effect. You can never finish on anything. And most of the time I have to finish the ride where I start the ride. Just like in real life, you can't finish a ride 2K from home. Oh, it gives me a nice round 2 hours all up too. Cool. I've been after work for a product manufacturer. Consult, yes. Work for, no. No, it'd be weird working for one when I want to test ride them all. 44, we're done. PowerTap hubs this summer will be an early SpeedPlay power adopter. Well, I can tell you, Dustin, if you do go with this SpeedPlay power meter, the product you'll be getting will be a little better due to rides exactly like this one. This is a data collection ride on the SpeedPlay power meter pedals. So, surprise if people didn't realise I was testing that today too. I think I said early on. So yeah, let's see when the power meter comes out and what the data really is on the final. In the final revision, there's no use talking about pre-release products. It might not represent the actual experience you'll get. But yeah, the never buy a Gen 1 product, meh. That really depends on the history a company has in either making a product or understanding the product they're making. Someone like IQ Squared, the first power meter they've ever made, sure, that's a Gen 1 product. But saying something like people saying, don't buy lower serial numbers for the rallies. That's the 4th gen power meter, I think, which are effectively Vector 3s with very, very minor tweaks. So they're generations above. The Speedplay power meter, that is going to be the first power meter from Wahoo, but I can tell you the testing is pretty good. Hang on, I'm just saving everything here. Everything's going up to the cloud. We are happy. So it really depends on the company, whether you buy a Gen 1 product or not. And again, we'll have exactly that. That's what I want to know. When I get a hand on, well, my legs clipped into the production version of the Speedplay power meter pedals, that's exactly what the Lama lab test is all about. Does it do what it says? Is it reliable? Can I go out and sprint to around 1200 watts? Will it record that? And we saw with the Vectors, the rallies, legacy in my mind about what they are. Just wasn't quite there for the cadence. For my particular testing, I scoured everyone else's tests online and reviews and comparative testing and things like that, but nobody was touching the specific detail that I went to in the specific test scenarios at around 1200 out in the road, then looking at both left and right channels and that rabbit hole that I go down. So anyway, that's what hopefully makes the Lama Lab test handy. And again, as I said, makes the product a better product. But yeah, I can confirm whatever you get with the speed plays will be hopefully in part of what I provided them as feedback too. So hopefully that means it's going to be good. We'll see. You'll know about it here anyway. Is there a comparison of the new pedals from Garmin and the Favero Asioma? Shorty, you can't do a direct comparison between two pedals. You're going to have to ride one set of pedals. But by process of elimination, you can see my tests against the pedals versus in other reviews. Asiomas are pretty good. They're pretty damn spot on. And the new rallies are the same indoors. So they're the tests indoors. Outdoors, you can't really do a head-to-head at the same time again because there's only one set of pedals on the bike. But yeah, there should be an update soon for the rallies for my particular use case and my tests that I was having some questionable results for. They're very close, very, very close. Different spindle lengths is difficult for power meter pedals. They've got to be fully recaled and everything for that. 16 watt increase in 4 weeks. That's not bad. If you can sustain 16 watts in the next 4 weeks, now that's going to be the key. Usually the gains really start topping off. But see how you go. How often do I make live videos on YouTube? Not a lot. Not a lot. It's the first one in about 5 weeks. It's better for me. These views are quite low. These are quite little, small views. And the content doesn't hang around too long where people move on. My focus is usually put on evergreen content such as firmware updates, what they're about, experience changes, new products and things. I'm just seeing a massive bunch around the corner that I'm not going to be able to ride with. Anyhow, I'll leave it there. Thanks everyone for coming along. It makes my time fly on here. As I said, I've got a few longer route badges to do, so I'll think about doing those. We'll think. Let me know in the comments. Should I do them? Should I invite everyone along? Should we do them as a meetup? And what day of the week? I've got no idea. Probably sometime on the weekend. All right, everyone, have a great day, and we'll see you very soon.